weigh in and let us know on the chat room if it's improved. We think so. At least it's audible, which is always good when you're in a audio visual world. Hey, our takeout of the game, I'm going to go with that hurdle for the Italian Stardelli, that hurdle by AJ Ouellette, punched out by TJ Lee, and then he recovered it. That was TJ Lee came to this team halfway through the year, 34-year-old defensive back, and he was a great signing by the BC Lions and was really instrumental in turning their defense around. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done in the end. Unfortunate for them as the Rough Riders win 24-21. Okay, I got Ryan Hall. He's been waiting for a while. I appreciate it, Ryan. It's been a long day. I'm going to let you go, but let's Let's wrap up the CFL talk. It's the Riders against Montreal in the Grey Cup. Of course, we know what happened in 2009, then the follow-up Grey Cup in 2010. So a chance, totally different eras now, but a chance for the Riders maybe to get some revenge in Winnipeg, the place where they've always had trouble winning until this year. I don't see the Riders losing the Grey Cup. I think they're going to beat Montreal in the Grey Cup for their 5th title, which would kind of be ironic and appropriate, I guess, because it's the last true Canadian Football League Grey Cup.
Well, I hope that's not true, Michael. I hope that some common sense and logic and perspective will be given to the people that have made these, I think, premature and rash decisions, and they'll pull them back. So, yeah, I'm still holding out hope that that somebody will say, wait a minute, this is not a good idea, and that this won't be the last real Canadian Grey Cup. I hope it'll keep going for many years to come.
Well, what's not a good idea, and we talked about it earlier this week, Ryan, was the fact that Saturday used to be just U Sports football in the playoffs, but of course, a couple of years ago, they moved the CFL playoffs back to Saturdays, which I don't agree with, but whatever. But it does overshadow U Sports football, and there was a great game, the BioSteel Hardy Cup Championship. You and my buddy Matt Young did the game. 25-24, the Huskies win. Now, the Rams were winning 24-9. For lack of a better word, how did they piss that one away? What happened there at the end?
Well, it wasn't the end. It was like the Huskies are a very good team.
Yeah.
And you know, they've got some great weapons, and the Rams did a very good job containing, especially like Daniel Weeb, who is the outstanding offensive player in Canada West, had a very small bit role in today's game, which is very uncharacteristic. Mm-hmm. As a defensive coordinator, that's always your thing. You have to look at the other team and say, what do they do best? And we need to focus on that. And then if they can beat us some other way, then good for them. And so the two main areas of focus that the Rams had defensively was limit Daniel Weeb and limit Riker Frank. So Daniel Weeb, they were very successful taking away. Riker Frank still had quite a good game. He didn't hit any big gash plays or anything like that, but just converted a ton of first downs. The way that the Rams got their nice lead in the second quarter and into the third quarter was through some terrible Huskies gaffes. Mm-hmm. Turnovers, you know, mishandled snaps, snap going sailing over the quarterback's head and getting scooped and scored for a touchdown. A really poorly executed fake punt attempt that on third down. You know, so their offense and a little bit of their special teams couldn't seem to get out of their own way. The defense, the Huskies defense, played a very good game for the most part. Like they didn't get much to work with from their offense in the first half, and then and the Rams defense was doing a great job for most of the game. Most of the game. But then like the Rams are still, you know, they weren't giving up any big gash plays. But then once the Huskies just stopped making their own self-inflicted mistakes, they started getting some marches going. They got the ball into the end zone instead of field goals, which they had to rely on in the first half. All they got was 3 field goals. So it was 14-9 at halftime. So yeah, like it looks bad. You know, it looks like, you know, kind of flashback to 2 weeks ago when the Rams, and in that one, you know, I think we would say they did piss away that game against UBC. But this one, you know, it was just like the Huskies are a very good team, and if they're not hurting themselves, then they're really, really tough to beat.
Yeah, and they win, and they'll play the Queens Golden Gales because Queens knocks off Laurier in a bit of a shocker, and they get the host Queens here. I don't even know what to expect in this game. Do you know much about Queens? I don't know much about Queens, to be honest with you. That's kind of the bad thing. That's the bad thing is we don't cover this level of football very much, like across Canada. So it's kind of hard to tell. Like you'd know if it was, Georgia's coming in and we're Florida or Alabama, but that's not the case here.
Well, yeah, and just getting to that, like even Canada West games, like so many people don't realize how great Canada West football is. Like you want entertainment, like that. The last game of the regular season that the Rams played 2 weeks ago against UBC, where they had the big dramatic comeback, went to overtime. Last week, the Hardy Cup semifinal, where Manitoba came back, and then the Rams had to tie it right at the end, and it went to double overtime. And then today's game, just so exciting, such entertaining football, great athletes, and it's the same thing in CJFL. Tomorrow up in Saskatoon is the Canadian Bowl with Okanagan Sun coming to play the Saskatoon Hilltops. Like, so many people think they're football fans, but they're not football fans. They're Rider fans. And they don't know what's happening, in university and junior and even high school football. There's great high school football that goes on in our province. And as you know, because I'm preaching to the choir right here, because you're like the number one guy of being a proponent for amateur football in Saskatchewan and in Canada, no question about it. But it's such great football, and it would be great to be able to watch those OUA games. Like Western, who's been a dominant team in Ontario, got upset in the OUA quarterfinals. Like they were a ranked team, and they're out. And then like you said, Laurier, who was a top ranked team, they get knocked out by Queens. So like there's good football, there's good competitive leagues. And I mean, Canada West is by far the most competitive, but there's some really good teams in Ontario and Quebec. Like Laval got beat by Montreal in a close game today. There's another league with that one seems to be always just kind of a 2-horse race with those two teams and everybody else. But it's just too bad that we can't get some kind of broadcast for university football and junior football. Just so we can experience it and see these outstanding athletes who, as long as the CFL doesn't keep making these terrible changes to take away the Canadian aspect of the game, which includes the Canadian players, like these are the kids. This is, watching today, Seth Hundeby and Daniel Weeb, like those dudes should be in the CFL very soon. Like, look at
the BC Lions, Jackson Finley. From the Finley family. Anthony, his dad, played for the Riders briefly. Brooks, his uncle, played for the Rough Riders, BC Lions. He had 4 interceptions this year, 1 pass knockdown, 1 pass knockdown in this game. He was very prevalent in this game. Ben Hladek, the Rider Canadian receivers in this game. Tommy Neild scores a touchdown. You got Kean Schaefer-Baker. Like, there's some good Canadian athletes playing in the Canadian Football League. Javon Catoy, a guy from junior football, figures prominently in the BC Lions offense. And the best player in the friggin' Canadian Football League, regardless if people want to admit it or not, is a Canadian, as outstanding as Nathan Rourke. So, lots of great things in Canada. Thanks for your time, Ryan. We'll talk soon, okay? Thanks for holding on the phone, too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great show, Michael.
Take care, man. All right. We've got a caller right there, I think, right? Let's go to John. John, thanks for appreciate you being patient, John. Thanks. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. John, how are you, man?
Not bad, brother. How are you?
Doing well. How's that the rotator cuff feeling? You feeling okay?
Yes, I am. I am actually feeling really good. I don't have my sling on anymore.
Awesome. Hey, speaking of sling, how about Trevor Harris slinging it in a legacy drive at the end of the game? But, I don't know. How did you I'll weigh in after I ask you. How did you see the end of the game go? Like, were you throwing things at your TV, or if you were in the stands, were you mad when Corey Mace went for the field goal instead of gambling on third down?
Yeah, I was. I thought they were going to lose. I thought it was over. I thought, they're done. It's over. But they somehow pulled it out, and I agree with you, Baldy. I think they're going to beat Montreal. I hope so, because Davis Alexander hasn't lost, in this league, and he's cockier than hell.
He is, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Boley, you have to be cocky to be a quarterback. If you sat down with every one of these quarterbacks, they're all cocky. Trevor Harris has a little cockiness to him. Cody Fajardo has cockiness to him, even though they're Christian guys. Darian Durant was cocky. Bo Levi Mitchell's the ultimate cocky guy. Zach Collaros has some cockiness about him. When you're the number one position in North American sports, you have to be cocky. So I don't take that away from him. And some guys got to play like that, John. He's a little bit over the top for my liking. Like, I didn't like how and hey, listen, I'm Bomber ballsy now. So with my kid on the team, I wasn't too happy with how he was showing off at the benches there when they beat Winnipeg, obviously. And I didn't like how he said we could have put 60 points up on him. But hey, man, he's a legend slayer. He slayed Zach Collaros. He slayed Bo Levi Mitchell. Will he slay Trevor Harris? That's the juicy undertone here. And the other thing is can he even last the game? Because he has a hammy problem again, John. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yes, I do. And that's what I think the Riders are going to exploit and take advantage of. That, injury, that he's not going to have full mobility. Yeah. So I think they're going to try to exploit that.
Yeah, I think the Riders will win by I said the Riders would win by 4 today. I was pretty close. I think the Riders win by 5-7 in the Grey Cup. I think they atone for the 2009-2010 loss. And I think they're going to do it for that exact reason. Because in this game, and this is what bothered me, John, hey, Buck Pierce did a great job as first-year coach, and they started slow. And I've always liked Buck Pierce. As a quarterback, I liked him. He was tough. He had a great game plan. He had Nathan Rourke rolling out. The Riders couldn't corral Nathan Rourke. And then at the end of the game, he got away from that when they needed 2 first downs to win. I couldn't figure that out. And conversely, defensively, could you believe that Mike Benavides was only rushing 3 guys from his defense against Harris?
Yeah, and that's why they lost. You can't do that.
No, that's exactly why. You got to
send the house.
You got to send the house.
Yeah, you got to send the house.
And I think that's why we're going to see a Rider victory, because I don't think Davis Alexander will be able to roll out and be elusive like he is. Like, that's part of his game. And if his hamstring is, hammies don't heal overnight, and I think that's going to be the big determining factor in this game. I really do. And hey,
I agree. And the Riders are healthy.
They're healthy.
The first time.
They're healthy in that old line. Hey, I've been critical of Jeremy O'Day a lot. And I tell you what, they got that old line fired in all cylinders. Those 3 All-Stars, those road graders. 4. Did you see Logan Ferland today? Logan Ferland's the best offensive lineman in the CFL, and I don't care what anybody says.
I agree. And also, Ballsy, another major advantage the Riders will have is AJ Ouellette.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. And there's another guy that proved me wrong. So I've always been a supporter of Trevor Harris. I said last season that the Riders, after the season, he's an all-star, but he's hurt all the time. Like, he never plays a full season, and he didn't play full season this year. But kudos to him. He was mostly healthy. He only missed 1 game, and that's been his best season in a long time. So kudos to him. But I said they should start looking for the next guy. They should sign Trey Ford. They should sign Jake Mayer, and he should get like a team-friendly deal and maybe come off the bench. And he didn't like those comments, and hasn't. He's basically done talking to me, so that's fine. It's a wake up call it's a wake up call that you can't be friends with people when you're in media. Like, you can't be friends with sports guys. Like, you can be friendly, but you can't. You got a job to do, and a lot of guys don't have thick skins. But I also go ahead. Sorry, John.
Ballsy, I think, though, I'll make a prediction here. I think if Harris and the Riders win the Grey Cup, he's going to ride off in the sunset as a champion.
Well, he should, and he'll ride off he'll ride off as an all-timer. But he has to win John, does he have to win a Grey Cup to be a Canadian Football Hall of Famer?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I think he does as a starting quarterback, and I think he'd even admit that. Even though I think Kevin Glenn's a Hall of Famer, I've talked to the Mike McCulloughs and the Cates in the world, and they said, no, he's not. He's got to win a championship. So if that's the criteria, then Harris has to do it. But where I'm going with this is, I think you're right, John. Their offensive MVP is A.J. Ouellette, and kudos to him, because I thought he was washed after last season, and he lost some weight, and he's been great. Like, he really turned that game around for the Riders. They looked dopey until the start of that second half, and he got them going in the second half with that ground game, with that drive in the second half there at the start.
That's right. And Ballsy, the guy I was mad at, but he made up for it was Emilus. He had that one that when it was late when they had the ball, he had that one in his hands and he dived and dropped it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he made up for it on the next drive because when he started doing that, I was thinking, like, come on, man, like you're supposed to be, this supposedly one of the best wide receivers, and they talk about him, in like the breath of some of the greats. I was thinking Don Nurse would have caught that with one hand with his eyes closed.
Yeah. Yeah. All in all, though, John, Rough Riders finished 12-6. They win. They have home field advantage. The crowd shows up, and kudos to Rider Nation. They showed up, cowbells in hand, and they were very loud. And for a cold day, they showed up and looked great on TV. And I know Winnipeg organizers are pretty pumped that the Riders are going to Winnipeg and salvage Grey Cup week, because it might have been a half-empty stadium like it was here in 2022 when the Riders hosted the Grey Cup and Winnipeg and Toronto played. So good on Rider Nation.
You're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Another thing I remember you mentioned on Twitter, the two best coaches you thought was Dinwiddie and
O'Shea.
O'Shea.
Yeah.
And I said to you, Mace, and you said he has to win. Well, if he wins the Grey Cup now, he's got to be in that conversation.
He has to be in that conversation. And they were that far away from this being a failed season. Like I don't think this is a like they needed to get to the Grey Cup for this to be considered a successful season. So I know we all want to win you guys all want to win the Grey Cup, as you should, but it has been a successful season because he comes here. They were 6-12, 6-12, gets them to the playoffs. They lose in the West Final, gets to the West Final again. Had they lost again this year, it'd be like, well, we didn't really get any better. We lost in the West Final again, but you did get better because you finished first, best record in all of the CFL, first time since '76. And he's going to the Grey Cup. But if you ask Mace, does he want Coach of the Year or the Grey Cup? He'll take the Grey Cup every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But something tells me he's going to get both the Grey Cup and the Coach of the Year. But how about, let's give a tip of the cap, though, to Nathan Rourke. He's an absolute stud. He is I don't care what anybody says, he's the face of the CFL. It's so fun to watch. And really, he's the real reason the BC Lions had even a sniff in that game.
I agree. And he's the best quarterback in the league, too. With all due respect to Davis Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alexander could tie Rourke's shoes, to be honest with you.
No, Nathan Rourke's better than Davis Alexander, but Davis Alexander's...
Well, yeah, I agree, Paul. Yeah, 100%.
And he's 13-0. This game's going to come down to how the hamstring holds up, because if the hamstring holds up, Montreal's got more than a puncher's chance. They've got a really good football team, two good running backs, great receiving core, stud defense. Riders, great receiving core, stud defense, more than capable quarterback too. And once again, can the young guy slay the giant, the legend in Trevor Harris? Hey, you got to go, John. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate you calling, okay?
Thank you too, brother.
Take care. You. Number to call, 306-992-6955. We'll take another break and be back with the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. Ward Tire Craft Regina, proud to be the last of the small-town style tire and automotive shops in the city, prioritizing the happiness of their customers and the safety of their vehicles. They've had some of the same customers for over 40 years, including yours truly, which is why I asked them to come on board as a sponsor for my shows. For all your tire and mechanical needs, go see Michael Barth and his crew at 101 Dudney Avenue. Tell them Ballsy sent you, and you get 10% off. So many drives to talk about. The Lions had a drive in the first half, 9 plays, 103 yards. That was a great one. Riders open the second half with a great drive, culminates in a touchdown pass to Kean Schaefer-Baker. Trevor Harris really leading them down. The other drive, the drive of the game for Ward Tire Craft, was right at the end of the game. Corey Mace does a great job of trusting his defense. They get the ball back twice. And on that second opportunity, Trevor Harris's legacy drive moves them down the field, and it culminates with a pass to touchdown Tommy Neild, just inside the goal line, diving, makes a great catch. arms, textbook under the ball, cradles it, touchdown for the Rough Riders, and they go on to the historic 24-21 victory over the British Columbia Lions before I don't know if I won't say sold out Mosaic Stadium because a lot of tickets were distributed, but it was in theory, a full Mosaic Stadium, but a very loud Mosaic Stadium. Kudos to Rider Nation. They did a spectacular job showing up and showing out, and they will go to Winnipeg, and they are smiling like butcher's dogs to potentially win a Grey Cup in Winnipeg, home of their arch nemesis. So they're looking forward to that. There's no doubt about that. Got a few chats to get to. Leonard says, no way. Trevor Harris has to come back if we win. He owes it to the province to come back and defend the Grey Cup championship and possibly repeat. Well, I don't know if he's going to quit or not quit. Ideally, like John said, right off into the sunset. You win a Grey Cup, you're a Canadian Football Hall of Famer, you're 39 years old. There's nothing left for you to prove. But also, you getting groceries in the grocery store or even moving on to coaching, I know he wants to do that. That's not the same as being a quarterback in professional football. You don't get 33,000 fans cheering for you in an office cubicle. Okay, so who knows? Who knows? They got one more game to play. I don't see them losing to Montreal, but Montreal won't be a pushover. That's going to be a classic game in Winnipeg. Ryan Kells, my buddy over at Crestview Chrysler. Andrew Harris has done a lot for Roulette. You could see how Harris has helped with his patience and finding the hole instead of running into the pack. Ouellette's a beast back there. You're right, Ryan. That's a good point. Andrew Harris. They've got a couple of great assistant coaches. Andrew Harris, who's a great guy and a former teammate of AJ Ouellette's in Toronto. So you've got that guy, and Edwin Harrison, the offensive line coach, has done a spectacular job with that offensive line. They've had injuries, but they've always protected their quarterback and got that ground game going. So that's a good one, Ryan. Can you scroll up a little bit there, if you can? Thanks, Leander. This from Trader Kevin. Man, I love the call by Mace. Now, that's trust and belief in his men. Loved it. He proved everybody wrong watching the game. Everybody thought that was a mistake kicking the field goal. And I agree with you, Ballsy. Furlan is the best, and it's not close. Yeah, Furlan is the best offensive lineman, and it's not close. Absolutely right. Even though Jamarcus Hardrick, another guy who got hurt last year, and it looked like he was too long in the tooth, an old vet that Mace bet on, that O'Day bet on, but it's paying off this year. I still think Logan Furlan's the best offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League. As for Mace, hey, he's always give him this. One thing about coaches, you have to be consistent with your guys so they trust you. And he is consistently, his message was, I believe in you guys. I love you guys. I have your back. And he did that today. He did that today by letting his defense, and he's the defensive guy first. My defense, you go get the ball back. So he trusted his guys, kicked the field goal. I didn't agree with it. I thought it would come back to bite him in the ass, and it almost did. It should have twice. The Lions could have finished that game off twice, and they didn't. So kudos to, this is not me being anti-Rider. Kudos to Corey Mace for his cojones to go for it earlier in the game for a touchdown instead of taking the points. And that's why I thought, okay, so you're going for it earlier when the game isn't on the line, taking the points, like going for the touchdown, not taking the points. But then you're going to go when the game is on the line and take the points, because it's not like a field goal. You get the ball back in a field goal, you could tie it. You're still down by 4. You still need a touchdown to win. So that was where I was like, I don't know what you're doing. But he had a timeout in the bank, and he got the ball back, and the BC Lions couldn't close it out. I thought it was more the Lions pissing the game away than the Riders really winning it, but they still had to go out and win it, and they did it, and they're going to the Grey Cup with a chance to exact some revenge on the Montreal Alouettes. Let's take another break, and you can call us if you'd like to talk some football. Riders going to the Grey Cup. We do have a call. We'll take a break and get to that caller. Riders win 24-21 over the Montreal Alouettes. This is the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame. 24-21 over the BC Lions. Maybe I just foreshadowed things. They're going to win over the Montreal Alouettes, too, in the 112th Grey Cup. We'll be back with more here on the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. Payson Insurance specializes in helping hard-to-insure people get coverage. They also offer a range of financial management and investment services to help secure your future. People care most about their money and their family. I personally trust Kevin. Best way to describe dealing with him are the 3 C's. He's comfortable to deal with, he cares about your future, and he's confident in helping you make the right financial decisions. Payson Insurance. Give them a call, 306-596-0244. All right, so let's get to the phones here, and I believe it's Ward Zaharia who's on the phone there. Let's go to Ward. Hi, Ward. How's it going, man?
Good.
Good, man. You got to be pumped. Your Rough Riders going to the Grey Cup.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
Are you really shocked by that?
I'm shocked. I was doubting Mace every which way.
Yeah,
he just kept going to the well, and he just kept believing in his defense. I don't know. I thought he should go.
Well, yeah. I thought he should have gone for the touchdown, but hey, that's why he's up for Coach of the Year, and Ward and Ballsy aren't. All's well that ends well. He showed some. It's the Our Balls Are Bigger post-game show. He showed some big balls today, coaching that team. There's no doubt about it.
He sure believed in his defense.
Yeah, absolutely. What else did you think of the game? Any other performances that stood out for you, Ward?
Well, Nathan, he's amazing the way he's never down. Like he shovels those passes, and it's just 3 guys hanging off him, and he still makes the play. Like
I honestly, like I'm gushing. I love it, the fact that he's a Canadian, and I know the BC Lions do a good job, but the CFL needs to promote the living shit out of this guy as the face of this league, but they probably won't because the commissioner's pissed at him for saying the rules are garbage. That's another reason why I think he should be the MOP, because he stood up to the commissioner and didn't back down. But I'll tell you this, Ward, the last quarterback that made the actual, listen, I think Trey Ford, coming into this year, I said Trey Ford was the best athlete in the CFL. And he is, I think, the best athlete in the CFL. I think since there's never been a quarterback like this in the CFL that makes me get out of my seat since Doug Flutie. This guy reminds me, they got that Doug Flutie-esque nature about him. Maybe not as much of a scrambler, but he does. He's a dual threat. That's why I was surprised at the end of the game BC got away from their game plan.
I think that's why it hurts so much more watching him too, because as Rider fans, we've always had these very, very mobile quarterbacks. You know, the Rocky Butler game, the Kerry Joseph. We've always had these mobile quarterbacks. Now we have a guy who's basically immobile, right?
Yeah.
You know, so and watching Nathan, he's got so much mobility. You know, he's so rolls out and running, and you know.
Well, let's talk about Trevor Harris. Yeah, he can't move anymore. I can't move like I used to. That's why I don't run anymore, because I look like an old man running, and I'm way older than Trevor Harris. But when he had to run, he ran and moved the chains. He took a big shot in the ribs, making a pass across the field. That really impressed me. And hey, Trevor Harris got the job done when he had to get it done, and he has all season. So tip of the cap to the 39-year-old. I think we got to recognize that, don't we, Ward?
Oh, he came through. There's no doubt. That last drive, he came out and won the game, basically, right?
Yeah. Hey, you know another guy, a couple of other unsung heroes for the Riders. I know he scored the game-winning touchdown, but when we talk about Rider receivers, nobody mentions Tommy Neild. He's made some big catches this year and some touchdown catches. Tommy Neild is a very underrated player for the Rough Riders. Would you agree with that?
Well, they've had so many players to be able to plug in at receiver. Like, it's, you know, like, a JoJo, never really panned out after it, and it hasn't really been needed. You know, like it's not missed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he didn't really come up big, and well, there were other people to plug in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot. They've done a great job with their receiving core. There's no doubt about it. And the other guy, I thought Mirko, the punter. He's great with some of those coffin corner punts. Yeah, he shanked a couple, but I mean, let's be honest. I'm not going to critique too many guys' performances here. It's like catching and kicking a brick out there. That anybody that says that's football weather has never really played football. That's not football weather. So I tip of the cap to those guys for putting their bodies on the line in that cold weather. And I thought Mirko's another guy that's been an underrated guy since coming in and replacing Couch midway through the season as a punter for the Rough Riders.
He had at least one or maybe two within the 5-yard line this game, didn't he?
Yeah, it was outstanding. So going forward, Riders beating Montreal. I think the Riders knock off Montreal. What do you think of that Alexander kid, quarterback in the Als?
Well, he's like you say, he's got a cockiness to him, and he's never lost. But who knows what his mobility is too, right? They sat him out one game too short, and then he was out for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm. Those hamstrings, they're tough to come back from. Those soft tissue injuries, it's not easy to come back from that. So that's going to be a storyline to watch in the Grey Cup. You got the coaches both up for Coach of the Year. You got Jamarcus Hardrick up for Offensive Lineman of the Year. You got the Riders trying to, not this version of the Riders, but we know what happened the last 2 times the Riders met the Alouettes in the Grey Cup. One we want to forget. That was back when I was a big-time Rider supporter as a super fan in 2009 and 2010 as well. So we know in these parts that it would be sweet to beat Montreal and sweet to do it in Winnipeg, no doubt about it. Ward, thanks for always being a supporter of the show. I appreciate it. Make sure you share and like this and tell all your friends, because that's how we continue to grow this thing, okay?
Okay, keep it going. Anthony's going to be there for us too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
He's still there. Anthony's still there.
He's still there. Yeah, take care. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, take care, man.
Take care, buddy. And he meant Anthony Calvillo, the offensive coordinator for the Montreal Alouettes. Jake Flair is watching. Hi, Jake. Jake is one of the sideline guys for the Thunder. Thunder lost. It's kind of ironic. The Thunder gassed like a 16-point lead against the 24-9 lead against the Hilltops and lost in overtime. And the Rams gas a 24-9 lead and lose today to the Saskatoon Huskies, U of S Huskies, 25-24. So, yeah, Jake is an instrumental part on the sidelines for the Regina Thunder. His dad also helps out coaching, too. So, yeah. Hi, Jake. How you doing, man? Thanks for paying attention. Thanks to everybody liking and sharing the show. We're sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I think we're on the right track now. I think we had On the Money with Kevin Payson. The On the Money pass. There were some great passes in the game. On the Money, though, was Trevor Harris to Tommy Neal. I mean, come on, touchdown Tommy Neal. That's one of the ones that'll go down forever in the annals of Rough Rider history. And it's kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but when the Riders went to the Grey Cup in 2013 and won the Grey Cup, it was that fourth quarter by the legend Darian Durant, 90 yards rushing, put the team on his back in the semifinal when it looked like they were dead. Same thing here. Are the Riders dead? They're down. We gotta rally. And what happens? Trevor Harris, the old veteran quarterback, puts him on his back against the BC Lions, this time in a West final, and gets them into the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. We will take another break and be back in a moment. This is the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show.
Athletes aren't built during the season. They're built here in the off-season, where real progress happens. At the Den Sports Performance and Agility Center, they don't just train, they develop. For athletes ages 13 to 17, they offer team packages and individual group training with up to 5 weekly sessions of your choice of dryland or strength-focused work. Every program blends strength, agility, balance, mobility, speed, and recovery with a focus on durability that most programs overlook. Because showing up on game day means staying strong all season. Every session is coached by a certified speed and strength specialist and focused on long-term athletic success, not quick fixes. Flexible programming, real results. The Den Sports Performance and Agility Center is where serious athletes level up. Book your spot now at thedenYQR.ca.
All right, so the Rough Riders win 24-21. Time now for our lit play of the game for the Den. And the lit play of the game, I mean, the Riders won. we'll always go back to the Tommy Neal play, but the lit play of the game, like I said, the BC Lions don't have a sniff unless Nathan Rourke plays above his skis, man. 2 rushing touchdowns. The second rushing touchdown, and you guys may have missed this early, the second rushing touchdown, he scores the touchdown, flips it to the ref, turns to Pill Country, which wasn't Pill Country for this game because of naming rights in the playoffs, and said, "It's our time. It's our time." And remember when everybody was jumping on yours truly, who I hate to say it, but is usually right. Remember when I posted and I said, it's bulletin board material? And I got a lot of flack from people on Twitter. Craig Adam, Bob Ramsey, a couple of guys who I consider friends. One of them, I'm not sure he could. I won't touch it. Anyway, they're on there telling me it's a nothing burger, and if there's no way they care, they're pros, they don't care. That shows you they care. Once again, might be cocky in what I say, but generally, I know what I'm talking about. Absolutely, that was bulletin board material. But if you're on the Rider side, you got a veteran quarterback. Hey, I'm the veteran here. I'm not here to talk about Nathan Rourke. I'm here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about my guys. We're the big dogs. I didn't say it was bad. I said it was bulletin board material. I didn't say he was wrong for saying it. I said, wow, veteran quarterback gives them bulletin board material because it was out of character for Trevor Harris. It didn't mean I didn't think it was good. It doesn't mean I like personality in the game. I don't hate Davis Alexander is the kind of quarterback or player, just like in hockey, you want him on your team, you hate him when he's not on your team. I don't like him giving the money sign, the Johnny Manziel or Baker Mayfield money sign, or doing his dance. I don't like that. But hey, it gets him pumped up. He's 13-0. If you don't like it, stop it. Riders have a chance to do it and shut him up in Winnipeg. So I don't mind my quarterback, my leader, standing up for my team. I was just saying it was bulletin board material. Oh, ballsy, you're an idiot. Oh, you're a whiner. No. It's just, listen, I have a son that plays in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but I'm also a media guy that's covered the league for 30 years. I kind of know a thing or two about the game. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah. So the lit play of the game was Nathan Rourke keeping the play alive. He's getting sacked, almost going down and flips it off sidearm like a knuckleballer to Butler, who couldn't catch a spiral earlier in the game, but can catch that desperation knuckleballer, gets a first down, and BC would go in to score the touchdown, and then everybody in Regina watching on TV at bars or at the game are going, uh-oh, maybe it is their time, but the Riders find a way to win it. 24-21. Going to the Grey Cup in Winnipeg against the Montreal Alouettes, who get that walk-off field goal, 19-16 over Bo Levi Mitchell and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll take another break and be back with more of the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show.
Waldoo's Warriors, appropriately named after Paul Waldoo, the local football legend, played for the Thunder, played for the Huskies, 3-time Grey Cup champ, and still coaching the Stars of Tomorrow today with the U of S Huskies. Well, now he's taken his talents to the real estate game with the Home Expert team on Vic Avenue East. If you want to get in the real estate game with the 3-time Grey Cup champ, give Paul and his team a call, 306-502-5355.
I'm going to do a little rant here, if I can, for a second. That has nothing to do with the game, okay? ChatGPT is great. It helps you or whatever, but it does, and I've used it. I'm not saying I don't use it, but it really dumbs down society. Like, it really dumbs down society. People get in this, we get dependent on this shit and on the internet and everything. And hey, listen, we're streaming here. We're on the internet. It's I need it. It's not like I'm not anti, but sometimes we get wrapped up too much in it. So this is not a shot at Leander, who does a great job behind the scenes. In fact, fell down his steps and is in a boot. So he's limping around here like an injured football player on the sidelines. Okay, Leander. And it's not anything against Gerhardt Studios. Dean and Nicole, love them here. You need any social media, websites, still photography, come check them out here. What's our address? Is it 1077 McCarra Street? What is it? Yeah, look that up for me. It's on McCarra Street, just off Vic Avenue, right before Vic and Arcola intercede. Look at that there. Was I right? What is it? Oh, sorry, 1799 McCarra Street. Sorry, 1799 McCarra Street. Come check them out, Gerhardt Studios, Gerhardt Services, Creative Services. So these AI, it's the AI thing that screwed us up, right? AI filter. So we tried to jazz it up with AI filter. Is that what it, what, how does that work? Built into the stream thing? Oh, okay. So it has nothing to do with anything we did. It's an AI filter built into the computer that helps us stream, and it fucked everything up. So AI filter technology fucked everything up. Nothing replaces good audio. So AI filters, fuck you. You almost fucked my show. So fuck off with the technology. I just like before when you just turn on a mic and talk. I love the fact Leander's done a great job with my background and all that stuff. This isn't anything against anybody here. Sorry, I'm old man yells at clouds. I would just like to turn on a fucking microphone and talk into a fucking microphone. Take callers and just bullshit about sports. That's it. That's it. That's it. Like, none of this 14-second clip. I know social media. I know you need it, but it drives me nuts. Like, you think I want to be on the sewer pipe Twitter? But I have to be for this work. At Ballsy Uncut on Twitter. Also, YouTube. Subscribe. Never miss a Ballsy Uncut or a Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. I got a CFL player joining me next week in studio. Ethan Ball is going to sit here and do the show with me. He's nervous to do it because he doesn't want to really comment on other players because he's a rookie. I said, Ethan, I just need you to take me inside a helmet as a professional football player. Like, what are they thinking? What are they doing? And help me break down the game. So he's going to come on here. We're going to do a Ballers. Our Balls Are Bigger. There'll be a lot of balls on the show. Okay, and we welcome you to join us for the Our Balls Are Bigger post-game show after the Riders and the Montreal Alouettes' last real Canadian Grey Cup. It's the last real Canadian Grey Cup, and it's pretty appropriate that arguably the best fan base out east right now, Montreal, the way they've supported their team, against what's been traditionally the best fan base in the CFL. I cheer for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They sold out 14 straight games. They're not the best fan base in the CFL, but they're not the second best fan base. It's a first place tie now between the Riders and the Blue Bombers. And the Riders get more fans in other cities because a lot of people have moved away from Saskatchewan. And so they show up, but kudos to Rider Nation. They show up, and they're going to show up, and there's a lot of people in Winnipeg that will be selling their tickets, and I've got a few. If you need tickets, DM me, because I've got fans, Bomber fans that have reached out to me that have great seats for this game that just want face value for their seats. So reach out to me, 306-526-7979, and I will be your Grey Cup hookup man. No extra fees, none of that. I will get you some Grey Cup tickets, okay? My phone's blowing up with, hey, Ballsy, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? So there I am, helping Rider fans get to the Grey Cup. Go figure. All right. So our Waldo's Warriors, players of the game. For the Riders on offense, I'm going to go with Trevor Harris. Trevor Harris didn't look good early on. He looked cold. He looked rusty, coming off a bye week. He looked like an old, brittle 39-year-old guy at the start. But towards the end of the first half and into the second half, he looked like the guy that threw for well over 4,000 yards and has his team on the cusp of a Grey Cup championship. And that last drive, like I said, that's a Trevor Harris legacy Hall of Fame drive. So he is the Waldo Warrior there on offense. On defense for the Riders, the Waldo Warrior, I'm just going to give it to the entire defense and Corey Mace in the last 2 minutes. Corey Mace, a lot of people were questioning him, whether they admit it or not. A Oh, look at that. I love it. Leonard says, I'm starting to love the Bombers because they have a player on their team with the last name Ball. And that kid, Ball, grew up being a Rough Rider fan. And you don't believe me? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to prove it. Hold on here. I gotta find this right here. This is the honest to God truth. I don't know if we'll be able to show this or not. I'm going to try to. This is the honest to God truth. So if you're just tuning in and you don't know who this babbling idiot is, I used to be the voice of the Riders for 2 years. Can't really talk about why I'm not the voice of the Riders. I can say it's a conundrum for me. I'll be totally honest. It's a conundrum for me. This is a total conundrum for me. I have friends on the Riders that I text regularly. A.J. Allen, Brent Lothar, Jaden Dahlke, Jorgen Hughes, Mitch Picton. Like, there's a long list of Sean Bain Jr. that are my friends. There are 2 guys on that team, actually 3, that don't actually play on the team. 3 guys that, quite frankly, I wouldn't pee on them if they were on fire. They're not good people. I don't like them. You can guess who they are. A lot of people don't like them. And so I'm in a conundrum. I'd love to see the Riders win for the guys that I know, and I don't want the Riders to win because of those 3 dudes. That's just me being totally and completely honest. But my family grew up being Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans. I'm just trying to find this picture because I'd love to show it, man. I am so sorry. I got a million pictures, okay? And as you can tell, most of them are my kids. Like, here's one. Can they see that? Can they see that? If I go like this, can you see that? That's a Ball jersey there. That's a Ball jersey autographed by my buddy Jim Hobson. I got that when I became the voice of the Riders in 2022. I just happened to be the voice of the Riders when they were the worst 2 years in the last 20 years. But I was on the sidelines for 18 years. As a member of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders broadcast crew, and I used to get my son and his mom tickets. I'm just trying to find this just to prove that my kid was a Rough Rider fan. Oh, where the hell? I'm sorry, guys. This is bad radio, bad TV, bad. What are we calling this? Bad social media. Where the hell is it? Two shakes. Oh, my God. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I got a picture of Ethan on the sidelines, and I'm holding a microphone, and he's in his Weston Dressler jersey. Oh, there it is. This will prove it to you. This is the last time the Saskatchewan Rough Riders played in the Grey Cup. The Rough Riders playoffs in the Grey Cup. Here we go. I'm going to walk to the camera here. 2013, I was the sideline guy. That was the last time the Rough Riders played the BC Lions in a playoff game. That was 2013 when they beat them in the semifinal. That was me and my son. He always sat on the visiting side. Got him tickets there. And so it is a conundrum for me. I want to be so excited for the Riders, but I got a kid who plays in the Blue Bombers now, so I'm a Blue Bomber guy. I'm a Blue Bomber dad, but I covered this team for 30 years. So if you're asking me who I want to win the Grey Cup, I'm about 65-35. 65 Riders, 35 Alouettes. I don't really want Davis Alexander to have that success this early because he's a little bit too cocky for my liking. But I don't want the Riders to win for 3 dudes, and I'm kind of petty that way. But if you knew the whole story, and one day maybe you will, or maybe you won't, I don't know, you'd know why I'm pretty feeling the way I am. But you can't take anything away. One thing I am is a straight shooter. Rough Riders deserved to be where they are, and they deserve to be in the Grey Cup versus the Montreal Alouettes. Okay, so defensive warriors, the defense, and Corey Mace for showing some big balls. Our balls are bigger post-game show. Special teams, I'll put it in a tie. Mirko for his punting for the most part, and Brett Lothar. He made some chip shot field goals. They weren't anything spectacular, but he made chip shot field goals, And I feel good for Brett Lothar, who's had, he had a baby and sleepless nights off the field. And I know he's in good spirits. And it was nice to see a smile on his face kicking those field goals. And he gets a chance to end an up and down year with a Grey Cup ring. And there's a lot of guys on that team I'd love to see, like a Mitch Picton, win a Grey Cup. So those are my Waldo's Warriors on the Riders side. Defensively, for the BC Lions, offensively, Nathan Rourke. Like I said, they don't have a sniff without Nathan Rourke. Not a chance. So he's my offensive player. Defensive player, TJ Lee. Guy forced a fumble. He got beat for a touchdown against Kean Schaefer-Baker on a nice little move little stutter step by Baker. Gives a little bit of a push. Gets some separation, makes a nice catch. TJ Lee, defensive player. And my special teams player for the BC Lions, I don't know, off the top of my head, I can't think of... Well, the returner kid, 77. He had some decent returns in the ball game, so I'll give it to him. And a kudos to Jackson Finley, the young rookie who was one of the top defensive backs taken in the Canadian Football League draft. I think the top defensive back this past year. Great kid. He's been on the the Ballsy Uncut podcast and talked to his dad quite a bit. He is a great football player and a bright future, and going to be a doctor when his CFL career is done. So kudos to him. Congratulations to the U of S Huskies beating the University of Regina Rams 25-24. They will be in the semifinal and host Queens. And Montreal, I don't know who won, if it was St. FX winning or St. Mary's, but Montreal beats Laval. So they're into the semifinal as well. And, of course, the Vanier Cup is going to be held in Regina. Quite a situation for football in Saskatchewan. Riders could win a Grey Cup. Huskies could win a Vanier Cup. And the Hilltops have a chance to beat Okanagan Sun tomorrow for another Canadian Bowl championship. So, yeah, Grey Cup 112 is set. Make sure you stick around for Ballsy Uncut on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube and never miss a broadcast. We will be talking Grey Cup, all things Grey Cup this week as the Rough Riders play in it looks like the last true Canadian football rules Grey Cup against the Montreal Alouettes in Winnipeg. For Leander, for Ryan Hall, who was my reporter from Saskatoon of the BioSteel Hardy Cup, and for Gerhardt Studios, I'm Michael Ball saying so long. Thanks for checking out the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show.
Thanks for catching the show. A reminder, the best form of promotion is word of mouth. So please tell everybody you know about this show. As we grow this show, we in turn help to grow the game we love, the 3-down game. Catch you next time.